New Madness album, and joining us in the studio, mate, a welcome return. Suggs, good to see you, Suggs.
Hello, Paul, all right?
Yeah, we're good. Yeah. So
indeed.
we've been listening to some of the tracks from the new album, and how many is it now? How many studio albums?
I think it might be
made?
10 or 11, I'm not exactly sure. I mean, yeah, you get some funny sort of compilations that you don't count, but possibly 10, yeah.
Fun to do, this one?
Really good fun, yeah. We had a sort of a revelation about the recording process, and it's got so complicated now in the studio with technology that we decided just to go back to a very small studio without boring your viewers to death with the technological side of things. It was just an 8-track studio, so basically you had 8 tracks to record. So there's 7 of us in the band. That left 1 extra track, so we'd fight over whether we could have a tambourine,
so really like the old days,
flugelhorn, or a glockenspiel.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it was just about being in the studio together and recording together and trying to get some sort of atmosphere rather than farting about with technology.
So what you would do is that what some of you go in one day, so can you come in and do the horn parts? Can you come in and put some guitar? You all actually did it as a sort of band thing.
Exactly right. Yeah. I mean, nowadays you can be, in different continents when you're recording, with the ISDN or whatever it's called. So yeah, just to sit around looking in each other's eyes, the whites of each other's eyes, and record tracks until we felt we got them right. Yeah.
Do you all get on well still? I mean,
I wouldn't go that far.
You spend so much time together on the road, don't you? And everything.
I mean, people talk about dysfunctional families, and I can't say it's any more or less than that. Yeah, it's a big dysfunctional family.
That's fair enough. It's been going long enough.
Yes.
The special limited edition sounds very interesting. You've got it comes with a game. I couldn't quite work out what this is. The greatest show on earth.
Yeah, well, you'd have to buy one, Andy.
Okay.
Yeah. Like say, the rules are on the back, mate.
Because some of you can go and make your own with some colour pencils. We don't want that.
No, it's just a rather amusing game that we all put a bit of effort into, and it's a card game that involves you having to do stupid things, which revolves around the lyrics of the album.
Is it kind of a band written album? You all sort of chip in with songs, or?
Yeah, well, funny you should say that. Yeah, we've all been getting sort of writing songs on our own. Like I can play the piano a bit. And some of the musicians have learnt to write words, but that was another thing when we started out. We would share the songwriting duties with each other. So there's been a lot more collaboration, for better or for worse, which has been a nice thing all round, really.
And you're touring, aren't you? We've already started a bit of touring, but you've got the House of Fun Weekender. That's the thing that you put on, isn't it, for fans? And
at Minehead at Butlins, that's a hell of a scene. 6,000 Madness fans squashed into a Butlins camp for 3 days. You can imagine. Not even Carry On could have captured that in any realistic way.
Do you get a sort of GTI chalet, or you sort of are you thrown in with everybody, or you don't get the suite? Is there a suite at Butlins in Minehead?
I've got to be very careful what I say here. Yeah. The walls don't wobble at all. They don't wobble at all.
I like the idea of you all in bunk beds. That would be like
you don't come all wearing red coats.
Yeah.
No, but that's basically what we're there to do. Yeah, to entertain.
Have you just played in Dubai?
We have indeed. Dubai. Yeah, that's an interesting place, isn't it? It's like Las Vegas without the fun. No, it's a lovely place. It's a lovely place. No, you can't say that. It's a very nice place, very nice people.
It's a kind of quintessentially British music, but where are you sort of big around the world? There's surprising places that over the years, you've sold a lot of albums and stuff.
Yeah, well, I mean, it just gets better for us live, Just there's so many festivals all around the planet. I mean, we've been around Eastern Europe, like you say, Dubai, Hong Kong, and even in England, there's probably 30 more festivals than when we started. There was Reading, which was the sort of rockers, or whatever they're called, the greasers.
Oh, yes.
And then there was...
Greasers, yeah. It's like Brighton in 1964, we've gone back all of a sudden.
And then there was Glastonbury, which, of course, was just for the old hippies,
Yeah.
But things have changed so much. I mean, we've probably done about 20 festivals. What was the best one we did was the Fairport Convention.
Oh, Cropredy.
Cropredy.
Yeah.
We all had our top hats with the feathers and all that, and our tankards hanging off our belt loops, and what a gay old time we had that weekend round the Maypole. But, you're going from that to Boomtown, which was some sort of cyberpunk festival. Yeah, it's been great, man. It's great.
When you've got a new album, I mean, because people come to the concerts, they expect, I suppose they expect to hear all the great hits, which I'm sure you do play, don't you? But so you have to...
You've got to dot the new stuff around, haven't you, really?
Exactly right. We've learnt over the years. I mean, I've seen enough acts where you think, come on, mate, play a few of the, you get the sort of medley at the end.
Yeah, yes,
I've sat through an hour and a half.
Yeah.
without naming names, Bruce Springsteen.
Yeah.
But anyway,
Elvis Costello was my experience of that. By the way, we're your old mate, but we move on.
you know, what I mean,
I felt sorry for George Benson. I saw him at the Albert Hall.
Yeah.
And every time he played one of his great hits, everybody, the whole place was going, here's one from the new album. It was like, woof.
Everybody says, everybody mass to the bar, you can see all the back doors opening.
It's harsh, isn't it, really?
There is an element of that. Yeah. So you try, I mean, we'd maybe play 5 or 6 new songs dotted throughout the other things that you'd recognise.
Yeah.
And, yeah, I mean, it's for your own sanity as much as anybody else that you keep it alive and you're not just disappearing down a hole of nostalgia.
Do you know when you come off, when you've been playing new material, I've often wondered this with bands, you're playing stuff from the new album, you say, this is the one from the new album, and you might go, oh, okay. But then you think, oh, blimey, they love that. And you can see that that's the one that's really sort of shone.
Once in a blue moon, you play a new song and they actually get it straight away.
Yeah.
But that is true. I mean, I saw a band a little while ago, and the singer kept coming and apologising before the new song. Now, don't do that. I'm really sorry. We're going to play a new song.
Yeah,
this could be a chance to maybe go and have a look at the merchandise and something like that.
We'll be back in a minute with a hit. But no, you've got to be loud and proud and give it a go. And every now and then one will take off. Yeah, it's true. Yeah.
What about TV? Because we've spoken about this before. You did a very interesting series about London. You've done some very interesting stuff. Are you doing any more?
I've just done one about books, actually. Yeah, about books that changed Britain. I did 4 books that changed London, about looking at London through the eyes of a stranger. So basically migrants to London, which is interesting. I mean, you know, television I like doing, but there's less and less that I'd like to do. Yeah. You know, I mean, all I get really is the celebrity, do you want to eat, you know, sea cucumbers? All that, you know.
What a great show that sounds.
I'll definitely tune in.
I want to be on that. Do you want to eat sea cucumbers?
So you've been offered a lot, have you?
Well, yeah, I mean, all those, you know, the reality TV shows. But, you know, there's just less and less money to make programmes of any real quality, it seems to me. But I'm not, you know, the band have kind of occupied me pretty much for the last few years, and I've been doing some one-man stuff, so the TV's sort of been on the back burner, really. And I'll never forget when I got a couple of awards at the World Television Society for Presenter of the Year, and I'd had a couple of cold drinks, and I threw them in the air, you know, jokingly. That's it, my work here is done. And lo and behold, the next day it was. I never got another call.
Oh, dear me. Landed on the commissioning editor's head, probably. That's what it was.
Not a bad thing.
Clive Langer's involved in this album, a long-time collaborator with you guys from probably right in the very early days, wasn't he?
Yeah, from when we started. Yeah, he was a friend of the family. He knew Mike Barson, our keyboard player's older brother. They went to school together, and he's just worked very well ever since. I mean, he's like a sort of moderator, arranger, umpire, referee.
Does he? I mean, I suppose because he's a writer and a great songwriter as well in his own. I mean, does he kind of get involved in that? And he thought, does he ever say, well, what about this chord instead? Does he?
He does indeed. Yeah. You know, a lot of we'd hate to admit, you know, a lot of things he had a big influence in. I think like the chorus of Our House, he had quite a big hand in that. And I mean, he arranges. He doesn't just sort of turn on the tape recorder. He'll say to you, you know, let's try doing something slightly different here. But it's funny because I was out with him last night, funny enough. And we were talking about that because, as you say, he's a great songwriter. He co-wrote Shipbuilding. We mentioned Elvis. And he really gets fed up because every time Elvis does an interview, they go, one of the greatest songs you ever wrote, Elvis. Leaving Clive completely out of the picture.
Yeah, thanks very much.
Yeah. But that is the nature of songwriting.
Am I right in thinking I'm going mad here? Probably didn't. But did you, 2012, I know you did you do Our House at Buckingham Palace? Did you do it?
Yeah, that was, on the roof.
You did, yeah.
Yes. No, you haven't got mad at all.
No, I've got such a terrible memory. It's so bad.
It's so bad. Yeah, it's fading.
Well, I mean, yes.
No, I've been on form today. I've been remembering a few things.
Yeah, yes, he's on one of his...
coming back.
Do you know what? Do you know you go and see Nan, she has one of her lucid afternoons, and you think we've got her back. We've got her back.
Him trying to remember what you've done the previous week.
Oh, yesterday we had an absolute corker.
Don't worry, next week I'll have to remember Can't Touch Us Now is the name of the new Madness album. Otherwise I'll be in trouble.
But no, funnily enough, playing on the roof of Buckingham Palace was vaguely memorable.
Well, if you'd forgotten it, we would have a problem.
The things that I've done. It does occur to me every now and then.
We had Martin Waring last week from Heaven 17. And I said to Andy yesterday in our little section where we test his memory, I said, which band, Martin was in last week, which band is he in? And Andy went, not Heaven 17. It's no, I can't remember. Indeed, it was Heaven 17.
It's not good, is it?
It wasn't one of your finest favourites.
No.
So we're going to play another track from the new album. I think if Chloe's ready, we'll play another one to go into the break. We'll talk a bit of Chelsea when we come back.
Oh yes, please.
So what are we going to have next? Mr. Apples. Yeah, funny. I was with Harry Hill earlier on. and I said you were coming in, and he started to sing this song. So it's out there in the ether already, Mr. Apple.
Mr. White Van Man went past. I went, Mr. Apple.
Really?
Great sign.
It's great, isn't it? That's one. Here it is. We'll play that now and talk more to Suggs after the travel. It's out in a quite grand vintage game box set, the greatest show on earth, if you so wish. And you've still got plenty of gigs left, haven't you, Suggs? You've still got, they say, your weekender. Then you're all around the country playing some big arenas. Last time we saw you were off to do some football stadiums. I think you were just doing a bit of a tour of some different
last
sort of
summer.
venues.
Yeah, we started off doing a few racetracks, and then we started looking into the whole thing of sports grounds, and we found cricket grounds, rugby grounds. And what was nice, you're going to places like Lincoln and I can't think offhand now, but you know, you think at the end of the day they've got walls round them, they've got turnstiles. You can set up a bar on a stage.
Yeah.
And they were very happy to have us. You know, Canterbury Cricket Ground, a lot of lovely sports.
Oh, yeah, that's a lovely place.
Had a lovely summer as well. It was just turned out to be really nice weather. So that was just an interesting way to tour. But this is just Madness Christmas Arena Tour. Office party, craziness.
A good old knees up.
Is the new album available in vinyl? Because that's the thing, isn't it? People, it's a big resurgence of that.
There is indeed, yes. No, we have put it out as a vinyl edition, yeah.
Lovely.
Yeah.
So
talk about football, I think.
There's something that links us from the music to the football. This is the Moose after the Chelsea-Liverpool game at full time.
Corner flicked on a near post by Matic, who got above Fellaini, dropped to Cahill inside the 6-yard box, unmarked, and via the backside of Blind, it went into the top corner of the net. 3-0 just after the hour mark, when Hazard was encouraged to wander into the penalty area and right-footed pick his spot in the corner of the net, and then it was all over and done with N'Golo Conte putting the icing on the cake for Chelsea, making it 4-0. Again, absolutely no defending involved.
So there's the Moose doing his bit in the background. The crowd are giving you a bit of one step beyond. That must give you such a buzz when they win.
When you do one step beyond on stage, you can have Moose doing one of his reports.
Yeah, over the top of it, yeah. You take him on tour like Blur did with Phil Daniels. Yeah, that becomes part of the song.
If you put him in, he's not exactly MC, is he? He's not exactly
He's not. But you're hype man. They're fantastic. Basically, honestly, the catering. You're going to take some hammer. If the Moose goes on tour with you, you'll be starving.
When they play that, because they only ever play it when we've a great victory or winning a cup or something like that. So it's
it's fantastic. Of course it is. Yeah, and I like the way that like you say, it's just somebody decides. If we've beaten somebody really well, or we've beaten a really good team that we might not have thought we would. So it's not every single time. So it's great. Then of course City played it that time when they beat us up there that time. It was a little bit.
You've got no control over that. You can't send them a solicitor.
Naughty. How dare they?
Yes.
So how are you feeling about life as a Chelsea fan?
Well,
better after Sunday, I would imagine.
Blimey, yes. Funny enough, I got one of them, like, the Likely Lads stories that everyone has,
Oh, yeah.
I was out having a family lunch, so I couldn't go to the game, and then, of course, it's dragging on, and the girls are all getting into the third bottle of rosé. I've got record on the telly, but I'm thinking, I wouldn't mind actually going now, so I shot off. It's 20 past 4, and of course everyone's texting me, and I'm thinking, don't ignore all the texts, ignore the texts. Get to my street. My next door neighbour comes flying out of his house going, have you heard the score? It's 5 o'clock by now. I'm going, no, I haven't.
Don't tell me.
Shut up, right? Get to the front door. I've got no house keys.
Oh no.
Hey.
What did you do?
Anyway, Mrs. came back about 3/4 of an hour later. I still managed not to know what the result was, and of course, within the first 30 seconds, the sun was shining on Chelsea.
Yeah. So you watched it all live? Did you spool through, or did you?
No, I didn't spool through any of it. No, I watched it all back live. Yeah, well, recorded live.
Yeah.
What a great game it was. How we play like that one week and we play completely differently the week before.
That's the league, though, isn't it? I mean, they played well against Leicester. The last 3 games
true.
have been better, and but it's that. You mentioned we were talking about Spurs beating City, and then they go and drop 4 points.
Yeah.
It's going to be like that all season.
Yeah. Well, it's, of course, as you always mention, the great joy of the game. But this what we're doing now with the back three and that Moses seems like a revelation. He seems like a sort of SEN sort of character he's turning into. And we just seem to be playing with a lot of vim and vigour at the moment, yeah. But what's happening to Mourinho, I really don't know. I mean, people ask me, you probably know more than I do, but he seems to be sort of retreating into some of a peculiar shell, isn't it?
Very odd. Nobody knows. It's never really come out what went wrong at Chelsea.
No.
What's happening. It's odd that it never came out, that it's never emerged. I suppose one day it will, but he seemed quite friendly with John Terry before. I mean, there's always been...
Yeah, they're having a chat, weren't they?
Seem to be getting on.
Yeah, sure.
It's interesting that he came out and watched the warm-up. Managers don't always do that, do they? I mean, he's quite a sort of contradictory guy, really, isn't he? You think he could have easily stayed in the dressing room and just come out and he underplayed the welcome that he had from the Chelsea fans.
He didn't really get much of a welcome. He didn't really get. The only thing really that says you're getting sacked in the morning, which was quite amusing myself.
He had a little bit of that, didn't he?
He got a bit of that, yeah. But only in a sort of, people respect him. They receive.
I think, and then time just goes on, doesn't it? And you're into a new era, and people.
And nothing can take away what he's achieved,
Absolutely, absolutely. But no, I think it's very exciting. Yeah, I mean, we thought last season was exciting. I think this season's even more exciting for sure. Yeah, I'm very much looking forward to the rest of it. Yeah.
Band-wise, what's the makeup of the fans in because you were Camden boy, so there's got to be some Arsenal fans in there, I would think.
Oh yeah. Well, half the band are Arsenal, and I've lived in North London for 35 years of my life, so I've put up with a lot of abuse. Yeah, and I'm perfectly used to it. But I've got a soft spot for Arsenal because of my local team. And as I say, all my neighbours. I mean, it's difficult to go to the pub if Arsenal have had a bad hiding. I have to stay away from my local pub because I think I'm taking a mickey, and I'm not. It's just a look on my face. I've always got in trouble, even when I was at school.
But you were most welcome after the recent 3-0 against Chelsea.
Yeah. Come in, I'll buy you a pint, try and cheer you up.
Exactly.
Fantastic. Well, look, lovely to see you as always.
Thank you, chaps. Yeah, always a pleasure.
Well, we wish you well with the new album and the tour as well. Let's go through some of them. Well, you can catch the guys in Bournemouth, Cardiff, Brighton, Newcastle, Sheffield, the O2 Arena in London, the Nottingham, Bridlington. Yeah. What about that? Glasgow, Manchester, and Birmingham as well. The remaining dates right until Christmas. And the new album, Can't Touch Us Now, is out on Friday, and we'll play one more track. We were going to play Herbert. We were going through the derivation of the word in a sort of derogatory way.
Because I was doing some interviews in France, and they were saying, "What is this Herbert?" They said, "Is it a rascal?" I said, "It's very hard to explain what Herbert actually means." So fortunately, the great researcher here,
Google,
Mr. Memory, we call him.
Yeah.
Ask him any question.
Yeah, I've already forgotten what I learned.
Actually, it often did get used in. There with Spotty, wasn't it? Spotty Herbert for some reason.
So Herbert, a Herbert, I basically would say someone who wouldn't want your daughter to go out with. That's the sort of simplest way of putting it.
Good to see you, Suggs. Thanks very much.
And you, thank you.
This is Herbert.